Hi, these comments are for M, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for OTC Online TOEFL and you're one of my TOEFL Speaking Bootcamp course students. Whoa! And let's see how you did. I'm listening to one of your practice tests right now, and remember, you can send me one speaking practice test every 24 hours, not one set. That means four. I mean one. So if you have four practice tests in a set, you can send me one of those. Remember, it costs me about $15 just to comment on your speaking here. So if you send all four, that's like $60 right there I have to pay, because time is money and I have to spend a lot of time to do that. So if I only listen to one, it's not that expensive. I can afford it each day. Okay, so let's listen to your response, and I think that you'll find too, it's better to submit a practice test and get some feedback, right? Internalize what I'm telling you, study a few lessons, then do another practice test. If you just keep doing them over and over and over, you're not learning anything. You're just doing the same thing over and over and over and over. Okay, here we go.
It seems to me that providing children with cash rewards is a commendable catalyst for participating in housework. First of all, it is distinctly important to get the children motivated to take a part in household tasks. For example, I give my son Yusuf $1 to clean his bedroom. As a result, a few weeks later, he got involved in various activities such as cleaning the car and doing the dishes. By the same token, it can give them a better shot to understand the meaning of financial management. For instance, my son was excited about the fact that he has his own saving and he had learned how to deal with that. In a nutshell, I completely agree that giving the money for children is important. It seems
Okay, so in this case, you're doing what's called TPO, TOEFL Practice Online. Okay, so my impression is you have a very heavy accent, right? So I think that's going to cause you a lot of trouble. So you have speech is generally clear, you have pronunciation, intonation, you have some difficulties in those areas that require listener effort. My first impression is 3.0 out of 4, 23 points out of 30. Let me listen to it one more time.
to me that providing it seems to me that
No, it seems to me, not it seems me. You're missing a preposition in there.
providing children with cash rewards is a commendable catalyst for participating in housework.
Okay, there. I like that word, commendable catalyst. Your vocabulary is very high, right? Now be careful about the P and the B consonant sounds. You need to pronounce those with more air, especially with the P.
First of all, it is distinctly important to get the children motivated to
Notice not children, but children.
take a part in household tasks. For example, I give my son Yusuf $1 to clean his bedroom. As a result, a few weeks later, he got involved in various activities.
No. You said I give my son, right? But it sounds like you're saying something in the past, right? So you need to use past tense verbs. I gave my son, blah, blah, blah. So I think the past tense is going to work better there than the simple present, especially right after that you said got, past.
Such as cleaning the car and doing the dishes. By the same token, it can give them a better shot to understand the meaning of financial management.
So instead of it, I would say, by the same token, paying children to do household tasks can teach them financial management. Instead of using it, use like a gerund phrase in there. That's going to demonstrate a little bit more advanced grammar. You can learn about gerunds and infinitives by going to the pronunciation. No, go to the grammar part of my course to learn more about gerunds.
For instance, my son was excited about the fact that he has his own saving and he had learned how to deal with that. In a nutshell, I completely agree.
So he had learned how to deal with that because I had been paying him to do household chores. So right at the very end, you want to connect that back to the purpose of the speaking task.
agree that giving the money for children is important. It seems to
Okay, so I think that my score is pretty accurate, but I'm going to adjust it downward slightly. I'm going to put you at 22, a little bit below 3. So I think you should be spending a lot of time in the pronunciation area of my course, no doubt. I think that's going to be really, really important because until you get the accent, you need to get more of a natural sounding accent when you're speaking, and that makes it easier for the IBT human raters. And remember, the speech rater, the software application that TOEFL uses, they're going to analyze your speaking for linguistic features. So you got to get a little bit more natural, or that machine is going to give you a lower score. Machines are very objective when they listen. And I don't even know how they design these things, ETS, but apparently they have a speech rater that can analyze your speech patterns. And you can bet everything you see in this rubric, that speech rater is going to analyze. So pronunciation, it'll analyze your tone, your pacing, and I think your tone, you want to work on varying that tone a little bit more. If you go to pronunciation lessons 36 through 40, I think that's a good series of lessons for you right now to help you speak a little bit more clearly. All right? Now let's take a look at your second task. This is an integrated speaking task number 2, right? So reading, listening, speaking, it's more campus related. So the vocabulary is quite easy. It's just a matter of structuring your response in a way that's easy to follow and making sure you don't have any language use issues or any problems with your delivery. Okay, let's get started. So I'm listening to your integrated task.
It looks like that the writer in the proposal is asking the university to offer a free bus services for students from the campus to the airport, especially during the school breaks, for 2 key points. Accordingly, the speaker in the conversation is crazy about this proposal. Right off the bat, he thinks that it is going to be more cost-effective for students. Since there is no public transportation between the campus and the airport, students have to ask other classmates to give them a ride or to take a taxi, which will cost an arm and a leg. On top of that, this plan would not cause any problem because most of the academic classes will be over and just a few of students on campus who would like to run between teaching buildings. All in all, it is clear that the speaker in the conversation is definitely fine with the proposal. It looks like that the
Okay, so I think you're getting a little bit too informal with your vocabulary here. If you're going to use idioms like he's crazy about, it'll cost an arm and a leg, I would use the idiomatic expressions in the independent speaking, but not the integrated speaking. Integrated speaking needs to be a little more formal. It's an academic kind of thing. So I don't think you can get away with that. I think your tone is a little bit too informal for what we're trying to do here for the TOEFL. But still, it's not bad. I think if I look at the rubrics here, I mean, I'm assuming that you have an accurate, complete response. So again, I'm going to put you right around 3.0 out of 4, 23 points out of 30. All right, let's listen to it one more time.
It looks like that the writer in the proposal is asking the university to offer a free bus services for students from the campus to the airport, especially during the school breaks for 2.
Okay, definitely the R. You need to work on the R consonant. Breaks, year. You're pronouncing the R maybe how you would in your own language, but we don't pronounce it that way in English. So go to the pronunciation area in my course and then focus on the R and the L consonants. Make sure you get more familiar with those. Also, you need to focus on the T and the D consonant sounds, the P and the B consonant sounds. I think those are all good. And like I said before, you need to focus on your tone a little bit more. Try to vary your tone.
Key points.
Okay, now the other thing I would say is you need kind of an introduction. You might say the author in the reading passage explains a new campus policy about blah, 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 and then the speaker in the lecture reacts to that new policy. So include kind of a compound sentence that states the main point from the reading and the listening, I think that's going to be a little bit better.
Accordingly, the speaker in the conversation is crazy about this proposal.
I would just say the speaker in the listening passage supports. You can say, or wholeheartedly supports the information in the passage. But crazy is maybe too informal.
Right off the bat, he thinks that it is going to be more cost effective for students since there is no public transportation between the campus.
Since there's no public transport, but not transport, but just say transportation.
And the airport, students
It's not airport, but airport. Again, review the R. The R, especially when it's in the beginning and it's in the middle of the word, you're pronouncing it with a very hard R sound. Probably, I'm guessing, like you do it in your own language.
have to ask other classmates to give them a ride or to take a
No, it's to give them a ride. No, it's to give them a ride.
taxi, which will cost an arm and a leg. On top of that,
Just say which would be expensive.
this plan would not cause any problem because
Say, therefore, this plan, according to the speaker, would not. So don't forget to put a few more voice markers in there that acknowledge the information in the listening passage.
most of the academic classes will be over and just a few of students on campus who would like to run between teaching buildings. All in all, it is clear that the speaker in the conversation is definitely fine with the proposal.
Good. With the proposal, not but just proposal. Okay, so this one, what this is telling me right now, you got a seriously very heavy accent. The good thing is I can understand what you're saying, but it still requires some effort. So SpeechWriter, the app that's used to grade your speaking, I think it's going to give you a lower score between 3.0 and 3.5. So you have to speak a little bit more clearly. You have to reduce that non-native speaker accent a little bit more. I'm going to put your score here. I think it's a little higher than the independent task. I'm going to put you maybe at around maybe 23 to 24 points on this one. That would be my guess right now. So if I look at both of your tasks, you're probably right around 23 points. That's where I would put you right now based on those two responses. All right?